Thanks, man. Talking about the three things you need to know real estate in Silicon Valley. I'm Vito Scarnecchia, your host. Let's get started. Three things you need to know. The housing bubble. I don't know if it's coming yet or not, but we're showing indicators. Uh, I don't know how to show this with you, but this link is in the comments down below, in my description down below. Want you to see what's going on because they're talking about debt on commercial real estate is coming in. There's a huge amount of debt in commercial real estate. And I'm pretty sure you go to any strip mall, any mall, any commercial property, and you see there's a bigger percentage of spaces that are vacant. Banks are not lending on these if their assets are not performing. Which means if you have a REIT or a syndicate and you have money stuck in that, you might see a lowering of your asset value. And this could be one of the tipping points, right? Now, you can watch this, and I don't want to get into this too deeply, but it's just something to be aware of because remember, I just added commercial property as one of the tipping points that could upset this whole economy that we have. Our economy is based on multiple things: our GDP, gross domestic product, and everything is intermixed and works together. And when one thing falls, it becomes a house of cards. And that's what happened in 2008, 2009, 2010. Our financial industry put loans on real estate and sold toxic assets to the tertiary market. And that collapsed and that broke down everything. And it was a lot of different things. I don't know everything about each of these individual markets, but I can tell you that a lot of these problems that we're seeing, that you see in the news, they're all indicators that it could be a major part of a recession. And they're talking about soft landing. They're talking about the slight recession, this and that. It could be really bad. It could be something. So just be prepared, right? I'm not here to scare you or be chicken little. I'm just telling you this is where it is. This is something that's concerning too, because if you look, and I talked about this last week too, inventory is low. We're just sucking wind right now, trying to get inventory up and running. I have 4 listings now that I'm working on. And it takes time to get stuff together and put it on market, etc. But it's just one of those things where, yeah, once it gets up on market, then there'll be a feeding frenzy, and we'll see what's happening. But some of the places where we're saying houses are selling quickly, they're taking a little bit longer to sell, just because rates are a little higher, and just something to be aware of, right? I don't have an answer of things you can do. I might come into some other things that we could talk about as options, and I'll bring in some experts. We'll bring in our experts from financial intelligence so you can see them and talk to them. And then eventually we'll have webinars where you can come in and talk to them and ask questions. U.S. housing indicators. This is across the U.S., right? This is from U.S. News. I don't know where they get the data. It's probably from the census, I'm sure. But they do this information, and what we're seeing a slight pump in March, where we saw that, and then we're going to see the market continue to go down because rates will continue to go up. I think we're seeing another 0.25% rate hike here in the next month or so. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully nothing too diabolical. And then the housing bubble thing. Now, this is dated October 22. I know it's like I keep beating this as a dead horse, beating the dead horse. But what I want people to understand is that we have a lot of inventory in cars and a lot of loans in cars, and people are buying cars that they really can't afford. And I keep bringing this up. And I swear I was talking about this 10 years ago. The next tipping point was going to be cars in my head 10 years ago. And if you look at this, one of the tipping points is automotive, right? Subprime defaults, 15 to 18% reported. Defaults, meaning they haven't made payments in over 60 days. This article says it's the same thing, right? People paying crazy prices for old pickup trucks with over 100,000 miles. 60% of used car, what does that say? Take out a loan with their first car. Wells Fargo reported a higher loss ratio from auto loans in its most recent earnings call. Ally Financial, company formerly known as GMAC, before its 2008 bailout, saw charge-offs quadruple in the third quarter. Fifth Third Bancorp, which is Midwest. Fifth Third, that's 1 and 2/3. But what do I know? Is reducing originations, likely seeing the writing on the wall. That means they're stopping writing offers or offering loans to car dealerships so consumers can buy cars. Okay, so car markets are stopping doing or tightening loans, tightening the loan originations, right? Which means it makes it more difficult. This article right here is saying commercial. Inside this article, they're talking about they're not lending on it. And if there's a refinance that's coming, they're making sure that the asset has to perform in order for them to refinance it, right? Commercial loans typically are 5-year, 10-year loans, and you have to refinance them every 5 years or 2 years or 3 years, and that's just how they work. So, yeah, that could be one of the tipping points. And we see less and less homes being sold. However, Santa Clara County, the Bay Area, we're kind of holding our own. We have very little inventory all across the U.S., but specifically here, our problem is we have very little inventory. If the market crashes, if any of those other issues collapse the economy, then this next part has nothing to do with anything. Our economy, our market will collapse as well. Not collapse, but contract massively, right? Now, over the last couple of months, you've been seeing me do this right here. Now, this is just from the Realtor thing right here. You do all of San Jose, and it comes up 258. Put 258 here. I did an actual MLS feed from here, and I had 342 homes. So the houses you see in San Jose proper, they're not going to be accurate. The Realtor.com, Trulia, Zillow, they're not accurate as to the numbers that they're delivering. So just be careful when you see those numbers. These are based on this number right here. So we have 1.4 homes active per square mile, but that's because San Jose has a lot of greenery, parks. We have a lot of parks, right? And for every 1,000 people, we have a quarter of a home for sale. So for every 4,000 people that are in San Jose, we have a house for sale. Closes last week, we're at 70. And if we looked at Monday, Santa Clara had 118 closes, right? Now, these are 2 days apart, but San Jose still takes up the majority of those homes closed in Santa Clara County. Last year, we were twice as much, so we're down 50%. Average list price is 1.53. Average sales price is just a tad bit higher, 1.569. Last year, our average this week was 1.9, but our actual average was 1.74. I know it's hard to see. I should expand this. There you go. So these are weekly and they go up and down a lot. It looks like last year I didn't do, or last week I didn't update the last year's. So last year's list price to sales price ratio was 116, which is on average. Our list price to sales price ratio right now is about 3% under list price in San Jose. High is 127, low is 78%. 42%, 42 of the 258 homes for sale. Sorry, 42 out of the 70 homes that closed last week were over list price. So over 60% of the homes sold are going for over list price, which is good. Days on market average is 19. List price decrease 21%. 55 homes. Now this is cumulative over the weeks. It's 55. We had 55 houses going to market, and that's quite a bit lower than the last month altogether. But we're on average for the year, and we had 20 homes canceled the last month, probably because of overpriced or pricing expectation, or wish pricing is what we call it. TFT back on market, we had 25 homes cumulative. I think that was cumulative. Fall out of contract, which means that they're back on market. All right. New homes, we're seeing a huge spike in cancellations there too. And I think it's 20 or 25% of the homes that were in contract, the new homes in contract, are falling out of contract right now. We're seeing some homes cancel. We're seeing commercial property being an issue. We're seeing automotive industry being an issue. Is this a time to panic? No, this is a time to be prepared, right? This is when you gain, when you can make your biggest gains. If you're prepared and you're ready to pounce on a market that happens to come down, great. If you're a first-time buyer, I'm telling you that I think the market's already passed for you, right? We're seeing multiple offers come back right now, and that means the market's picking up. When rates go down, we're at 6%, I think 6% yesterday. 5.5% is the ideal market, is what we're finding out. At 6%, you can still buy points, and you can still lower it down to 5.5%. So people realize that, and they're saying, hey, I'm just going to go buy a house. I'm just going to buy a house. I'm going to buy a house. And there's more competition. 60% of the houses that closed last week or one in the contract. Where is it? 60% of the houses that closed this last week sold for over list price. That means there were multiple offers for the most part, right? So we're seeing this more and more. I mean, over the last 5 weeks, it's way over 50% of the homes are selling in San Jose over list price. I have a feeling, I mean, if you're still a first-time buyer, I think you can still buy a house on the east side where, I live in Southeast, in South San Jose. You still have options here if there's any inventory that's out there. You can buy in Alum Rock, you can buy in North San Jose, you can buy in Silver Creek, you can buy in Santa Teresa, you can buy in Blossom Valley. Those homes still are going, and there's still homes that are on market. And if you're a first-time buyer, by all means, look at fresh homes on market. But my hint to you is find homes that have been on market close to 30 days or over. And those have issues. They're not going to be the perfect house. They might have, the Leaning Tower of Pizza, but you don't want to work with those houses. You want to find houses that are overpriced, that are maintenance deferred, or that are older in original condition, and then you can make it yours. Those are the hints that we're telling our people. All right, I'm at 15 minutes. I'm Vito Scarnecchia with Abitano. Thanks for watching. We'll see you out there.